Hello friends, today we are going to see the ultimate analysis. In the last lecture we have seen the proximate analysis. Now we are going to see the ultimate analysis. The analysis of the coal in which the percentage of carbon and hydrogen, nitrogen, sulfur, ash and oxygen is to be determined. These are found out and is known as ultimate analysis. So let's have a look towards the carbon and hydrogen. So what we are going to do? We are going to have an experiment. So let's have a look towards it. So we are going to take 1 to 2 gram of weight coal sample, and that sample is burned in a combustion apparatus in the current of oxygen. So in the combustion apparatus we are going to pass only the oxygen and we are going to burn the coal sample. The carbon and hydrogen of the coal are converted into, the carbon is converted into carbon dioxide, hydrogen is converted into water respectively. Now this carbon dioxide and water, they are being absorbed in the different tubes, means the gaseous products of combustion are absorbed in. Carbon dioxide is absorbed in potassium hydroxide tube, whereas water is absorbed in calcium chloride tube. So this is a combustion apparatus. Here you can see. Now in this the coal sample is burned with the current of oxygen. So when it is burned, what will happen? The hydrogen from the coal is being converted into water and is being collected in the tube of calcium chloride, whereas carbon from the coal is converted to carbon dioxide and it is being collected in this tube, that is potassium hydroxide. So previously what we are going to do, we are going to take the weight of the empty calcium chloride tube and potassium hydroxide tube, and when the coal sample is burned and that hydrogen is converted into H2O and carbon is converted into carbon dioxide, and when they are being collected in these different tubes, then we are going to take the weight of this two tubes. So we can see the difference between the empty tube and the filled tube. So here we can see that the increase in the weight of these tubes are determined. So carbon plus oxygen gives carbon dioxide, hydrogen plus O2 gives H2O. Here you can see the weight. The carbon is 12, carbon dioxide is 44, whereas hydrogen you know, but H2O is 18. Now, carbon dioxide is being collected into the potassium hydroxide tube. So, it is K2CO2 plus H2O. The calcium chloride with the 7 molecules of H2O gives CaCl2 7H2O. So, how we are going to calculate the weight? The percentage of carbon is equals to increase in the weight of KOH tube. So after filling it with the carbon dioxide, we are going to take the weight of that tube multiplied by 12, that is the weight of the carbon, into 100 upon weight of the coal sample taken into carbon dioxide is 44. So we have written here the weight, that is 44. Then the percentage of hydrogen, it is the increase in the weight of the calcium chloride tube into, for hydrogen it is 2 multiplied by 100 upon weight of the coal sample taken into, for H2O we have written 18. So this is how we are going to calculate the percentage of carbon and the hydrogen. Now second is called as the nitrogen. Take about 1 gram of accurately weight powdered coal which is heated with the concentrated H2SO4. So we are going to take the coal sample, we are heating with H2SO4 with potassium sulfate, which is a catalyst, and this is done in a long necked flask which is also called as the Jeddels flask. So one of the question can also arise that how the nitrogen is being calculated by using the Jeddels flask. So this is, you should remember. Now, so we are taking it weight of the coal sample 1 gram. We are heating it with H2SO4 along with the potassium sulfate which act as a catalyst as to increase the rate of the reaction. After some time, what will happen? The solution becomes clear, and that solution, it is treated with excess of KOH. So when we treat with the solution excess of KOH, the ammonia is distilled over and is absorbed. So the ammonia which is there present in the coal sample, it is being liberated and is being absorbed in a standard acid solution. So in the acid solution which we are taking, so we know the normality of the acid solution already. The unused acid is then determined by back titration with standard NaOH solution. So what we are going to do, we are going to take the acid solution and we are going to back titrate with the NaOH solution so that we can calculate how much of the acid is being unused. Now the percentage of nitrogen will be what? The volume of the acid used. How much of the volume of the acid which is used when we are going to titrate it into the normality of that acid into 14, that will be the nitrogen, multiplied by 100 upon weight of the coal sample which we are taking. So this is the actually the practical work. So here we are going to heat the coal sample with the H2SO4 we are using and potassium sulfate. By this, what will happen? The ammonia gas will be liberated and which will be collected in the tube, and then we are going to titrate it with the NaOH solution. So this was about the nitrogen, percentage of nitrogen, how we have calculated. The third is called as the sulfur. Now it is determined from the washings from the mass of the coal which is used in the bomb calorimeter. Now this bomb calorimeter is used for the determination of the calorific value of the fuel. So during this determination, sulfur is converted into the sulfate. So whatever the coal sample which we are using, in that the sulfur is present and that sulfur is converted into the sulfate. So the washing is then treated with the barium chloride solution where barium sulfate is precipitated. So what will happen? The sulfur is converted into sulfate which is then treated with barium chloride and which then get converted into the barium sulfate which is a precipitate. The precipitate which we obtained of barium sulfate, it is filtered, washed and heated. We are going to wash it, we are going to filter it and we are going to heat it till we get the constant weight. So how we are going to calculate the percentage of sulfur? It will be the weight of barium sulfate multiplied by 32 into 100 upon weight of the coal sample taken in bomb into 233. So for barium sulfate it comes to be 233 and for sulfur the weight will be 32. So this is a diagram of the bomb calorimeter where you can see we can calculate the calorific value of the coal sample. Ash. As we have seen in the last lecture only, the coal is taken in a crucible without lid and it's kept in a muffle furnace for half hour. The temperature is 700 plus minus 50 degrees Celsius. So this is a crucible. This is the muffle furnace. Then the crucible is taken out, cooled in air and desiccator, and then its weight is taken. So that is a desiccator. So heating, cooling and weighing is repeated till we get the constant weight. So the residue we obtained is nothing but the ash on the percentage basis. So this will be the percentage of ash will be the weight of ash left into 100 upon weight of the coal sample taken. So we have seen in the proximate analysis. How to determine oxygen? So the percentage of oxygen is 100 minus percentage of carbon plus hydrogen plus sulfur plus nitrogen plus ash. So we are going to we are going to add this and then we are going to subtract it with the 100. This was all about the ultimate analysis. Thank you.